Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. We are back for another live session and a whole week ahead of us for trading to get our second 50K account finished and to get started in our funded account, which we may or may not do today. We'll see. We're starting off in our second 50K account to see if we can't get that moving. And then if we do get a trade in that, then we'll move over to the funded account and see if we can get that going also. But I really do want to stick to my plan and get the second 50K account finished so that I have a backup account. So we're going to stick to that plan. I think that that's appropriate and smart and give us a little bit more time to make sure we are ready to start trading in the funded account. So welcome back. It is Monday. Most people dislike Mondays. And I think that that's because they dislike their work week, as most of us do. I look forward to Mondays because it is day one of trading. That's my point of view. So let's take a look at the market so far. I got my areas of interest here marked out from Friday's trading. You can see that we're already up on the higher end of that, above our volume high from yesterday. So buyers seem to be in control so far today. We are close to tagging into highs of Friday. We've already pushed up and made new highs today in pre-market. So we got about a minute left until the New York session opens, and we'll see where we go from there. I would like to see price come back down at least close to our volume high here and maybe take another bounce. You can see that we've price held pretty well here. We kind of came down and tested again, maybe one more time here quickly. But you can see where the buyers have stepped in pretty strongly each time here. So this general area close to our volume high here is a very nice area of interest to possibly continue taking longs today and hopefully continue moving higher. But we shall see. There we go. New York session is open. All right. Little push down right off the rip here, first thing in the morning. Let the buyers and sellers figure out what they want to do here. Give them a couple minutes. Nice hold and push back up by the buyers here. Very nice. Very strong. Very strong so far. So I want to say welcome. We got a bunch of new subscribers on YouTube. We got a bunch of new members in the Discord over the weekend and the past couple days. So welcome. Appreciate all of you guys. I hope you enjoy the content and I hope you guys get something out of it. And feel free to comment either on the lives or in Discord. Reach out and Let me know if there's something specific you guys are looking for, what you guys are interested in. I'd like to definitely cater to as many of you as I can so that we can help each other become successful. All right, there we go. A nice push back by the sellers. Get our regular morning volatility here. Over the weekend, I did put together some more of the video list that I'm creating. I'm going to do a new series. They're just going to be regular videos, and they're going to be talking about my strategy and what I use. But it's going to be a whole series, so we're going to start from understanding price action first, and then each video will go in depth into each piece of my strategy and the elements that I use. And then the final video, obviously, will be putting all that together so that you guys can see and understand what I'm looking for and how I'm getting in and out of the market based on my particular strategy. And my strategy isn't so much a strict, hardcore, follow these rules and this and that and everything. I've tried many of those, and my outlook is the market is very dynamic and changes all the time. So, unless you're trading with multiple strategies, which I don't recommend, but in the beginning anyway, you can add strategies once you become very successful and whatnot, or you can just figure out a strategy that is as dynamic and fluid as the market is, so that you can just concentrate on one thing. And uh, most of what I use is just liquidity, and that's what the market is, right? So I go into depth in learning price action, liquidity, where it is, how to find it, and then how to use it. Because really, there's liquidity everywhere, right? That's just money. Liquidity is money. It's orders. That's all it is, whether it be buy orders or sell orders. And that's everywhere in the market. But there's pockets of important liquidity. And so, how do you find those? How do you use them? And then the volume profile is the only other thing that I use to tie all of that together. And that allows me to figure out where I want my entries and exits to be. So those videos will be coming shortly. I finished the basic layout of all the videos over the weekend. So I'll be starting to create those videos, and they will be released, you know, one every week or so. I haven't really decided yet. But those will be coming out soon, and then you guys can get a in-depth explanation as to how I trade. And that's just, that's for me, that's what I've found over the past 3 years is working for me, and has been pretty stable and reliable no matter what kind of market we're in, whether it be volatile or slow or, what have you. So to me, I like that because no matter what kind of market we enter, you can still rely on one thing, and still be successful. So those will be coming out soon. Hopefully you guys enjoy those and get some good information out of them. You can see here our market came down back into the low end of our volume profile today. Kind of tagged in here twice. Let's see what this third candle does here. So you can see just by looking previous structure, right? Lots of volume here and orders, same thing here and here, right? These are all what looks like positions being built to continue long, right? So the same thing might be happening here again. We might be starting to build some long positions here. This is liquidity, these long wicks, right? So the question that you have to ask yourself now is, what is this liquidity being used for? Is it being used as a sweep, basically, and gaining liquidity to reverse? Or is this going to be a run where we're picking up liquidity here to continue in the same direction? But you can find liquidity everywhere just by looking for multiple, larger wicks and structure, right? So where price really hasn't moved much, but we've wicked in and then got rejected. We wicked in and got rejected. So here is liquidity, right? Where the sellers came in. Here we're starting to build that same thing, but here buyers are coming in, right? As sellers come down into this area here, you can see where the buyers are starting to pick up positions, right? Is that it for the music? If the music ends up being too loud on your end, just let me know in the comments. All right. So you can see price is basically bouncing around our fair value for today so far. So when you're looking at the volume profile here, and this is the current, so this is basically just based off of what you can see on your screen. This green line here is what's called the control. So this is where the majority of trades have been taken so far in this large area here. So this is what you would call fair value. It's not a fair value gap. It's none of that. I tried all that ICT stuff too, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay, but for me, it didn't work. But the actual fair value, meaning where buyers and sellers basically agree on price, so where the majority of trades are being taken, is where this green line is where these pieces that stick out here in the volume profile are called nodes. So the one that sticks out the furthest, that's where the most volume is. And you can see where price is just bouncing around that, right? A lot of volatility here. So right now, buyers and sellers still agree that this general area is fair value. So this is where the war between the buyers and the sellers is happening. Looks like buyers are picking up here. And this darker shaded area, just so you guys can see, is where 70% of the trades volume take place, right? So this whole area here, and you can see that in the price action too, is where the majority of the trades are being made. So buyers have definitely stepped in here, right? So now buyers, this is what happened. Buyers allowed price to come down back into fair value and the low end of our volume. where they created positions, because this is big money, right? This is what happens when big money wants to place positions. They can't just do it by buying, 1,000 shares, because it would just send the price off and there wouldn't be enough liquidity for them to be able to do that. Because in order for them to do that, there has to be sellers willing to sell the contracts, right? So they come down, they place orders, and they place smaller orders, right, in particular areas, so that they build their position that they want, and then price moves in the direction that they want it to move in. So that's what you see here, right? This is position building, where you come down, buyers bought in. They price pushed back down, buyers bought in. Same thing, right? That's these large wicks. And then you have your position move. So this is where today buyers created their position. Same thing happened back here. Same thing happened back here before you get the big move. That's exactly what happened here. So now we're on the top end, and this is where sellers are sitting. So now you have liquidity up here as well, and you built a ton of liquidity and captured a ton of liquidity down here. Now the buyers are going to push back up, and they're probably, it doesn't have to work this way, going to use the liquidity that's up here to run, right? So grab enough liquidity to create the position that they wanted to move to the upside. And now they have plenty of liquidity to grab as they continue the move to the upside. So this is the kind of stuff that you want to look for, but you want to look for this stuff in key areas, like the bottom ends of support, right? Resistance, whatever. And that's where you want to try to get in, because that's where big money is getting in. If you can get in where the smart money or big money is creating their positions, then you just ride the train with them. So for me, this didn't quite get to a level that I would have liked to seen it get to. So here you're kind of in the middle. There wasn't enough information for me to say, okay, yes, this is where the position is being built to make the large move. I would have liked to have seen price come down a little bit further, even hit our volume high here. And it doesn't always happen. And these large candles don't really allow for a good RR position, right? So like if you got in, here's your confirmation candle that the buyers have gotten enough of their liquidity here and starting to move the price back up. If you were going to take this position and buy in at the top, at the close of this candle, your stop loss needs to be down here, right? That's huge. And now you have to look for a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, whatever you're looking for. Is this enough to make the price break and make new highs? You don't know. This structure back here would have been nicer, right? Because you can see the buyer step in here and here and here, never allowing price to come back down past your largest wick here, whatever you want to call it. And then you could have gotten in somewhere around here, smaller stop loss, and then let the move take place. That's what I look for. And this is a simple strategy that works no matter what kind of market we're in, right? Liquidity is everywhere. Finding the right liquidity to use is the key. That's the key. And if you can find that liquidity to use and then get in the right direction, you're golden. So now the buyers have made their move. We've broken highs. We're continuing to make new highs today. We are well above our 70% volume here, which means up in this area, if price stays up here, Buyers are in control. So now all we have to do is look for some kind of decent pullback, a retest somewhere, some more liquidity being built up to continue taking that move to the upside, if that's what's going to happen, right? You got to just let the candles tell the story. On the 15-minute chart, you can see it even better, right? Sellers came in, pushed down. Your liquidity was grabbed, and then buyers came in and made their move within the first 15 minutes of New York session, right? And this long wick here tells you that the buyers came in and took control. So they let price come down, grabbed their liquidity, built their position, and moved in the direction that they wanted to go. So now we've made new highs in the day. Now we want to zoom out a little bit more to see where we may be heading. And it looks like we have some resistance or some liquidity right around, is that 19.7-ish? Yeah. And you can see how on the 4-hour, we pushed past our 200-day moving average. On Friday, we retested and held. So if you're looking for a bias, if that's how you trade, what's your bias here? Continuation to the upside, I would say. Unless you get some kind of tweet or something. See if we have any data coming out today. I don't see anything today. Uh-oh. So this is what you don't want to see. It's very fast and quick turnarounds. Because what this means is the continuation to the upside is now reducing. The chances of that is reducing, right? Because you may be getting a quick reversal here. And I don't like that, because then that's setting up for volatile range / sideways kind of trading, and I don't like it. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we have jolts. That'll be fun. Let's see, Wednesday. We're retesting previous highs here. So let's see how this ends up working out. I don't like the fact that this fell so quickly. But if we start building some liquidity here, it could be an opportunity to continue this move to the upside. Now we have PCE and GDP, it looks like, on Wednesday. Is that Wednesday? Yeah. Yeah, we might be heading right back down here. Mm. So we just want to pay close attention here. I think at this point, because of how quick we've made this move back, we definitely are coming back to our control. Or I would say it's a strong possibility. I don't say definitely, right? I don't really know. Um, but it's a strong possibility. So at this point, we let price come back here, see what it does. Because even though you can see liquidity everywhere, the best shot to use that is on in key levels, right? It's like I was saying before. So you can even see, we knew we had liquidity up here because this was um, a high, right? We used that liquidity to push back or push through pretty quickly, but then we turned around just as quick. Okay, and that is an indication, a good indication that you're going to get a reversal. Um, you can see the liquidity here by these two large wicks that match almost exactly with the top of our previous highs, right? So you could say like, oh, I'm going to use this as to go short. The problem with this is you don't know whether we're just retesting these highs and using liquidity in this general area to continue up, or if it's going to use this again as a run. So using um, liquidity just anywhere isn't a good idea. You want to wait for price to go to key levels. And I used the previous day's levels as my key levels. So, or the control currently, right? So now let's see what price does in this area. To be honest with you, I would rather see price, because this move is so quick to reverse, I'd rather see price come down to my key level before I make any decisions. If this holds and we start to build a position here again, then you can look to possibly continue longs, because we're still bullish, essentially. But let's see what happens here. If we break past the low end of this wick here, we're coming here. And the fact that this closed so strong, yep, there we go. So my plan now is to not do anything until we get here. If we don't make it all the way here, then we'll have to reevaluate. But the fact that this didn't hold long enough to continue this position, the price needs some more liquidity, or we just don't want to continue moving up today. So let's let price come down to our key level here, which is our volume high from Friday, and we'll see what happens. I tell you what, it looks very, very strong to the downside, but that can change. So we reached our volume high and quickly bounced off of that. So not, a clear indicator as far as entry or whatever yet, but it kind of gives you an idea that there are buyers sitting down here, right? There are orders ready to, to grab positions here. Okay. Sellers are pushing through. Strong push. Strong push. We might have a complete change in direction today. Might. Right? We gotta keep watching. So now here at your key level, you have to decide whether this is a liquidity sweep or liquidity run, right? And that's just done by watching price action. So just give it a little time here. So far it looks like a sweep. The one thing I don't like about what this looks like is we already look like we're setting up for range trading here. And I do not like trading in that. So pushed right up to our control. Pretty good rejection there. Still undecided. So you can see, even just based off of the volume profile, this node here, right? It's just where it sticks out the furthest, is where the majority of orders um, have been placed. So we made our large move to the upside, which was very, very quickly shot down by the sellers. We're retesting our control here. You can see liquidity starting to build on the sellers' side here, right at our control. This was a slower move back, so almost like a normal pullback. But because we're in between these two areas here, it would be risky to get into a trade anywhere here. And that's the thing that, that's the thing with trading is deciding when to stay out also, you know, because a lot of people, including myself, you know, I would build this idea in my head that we're going to continue lower and use this as a place to short, right? But we have no confirmation that we will continue lower. And, we could just get another bounce here, retest, make a double bottom here before we continue moving to the upside. Like there's endless possibilities of what could happen here. But the fact that you're within this tiny, tiny range here of a very clear support, right? And a not so strong resistance, because that didn't last long last time. To get into a position here is, in my opinion, too risky, And by the time you confirm and get in, let's say somewhere around here, here's your stop loss, your RR. Yeah, maybe you make a 1.5 to, it's not, again, in my opinion, it's not worth it. I'd rather see price come back here, hold, right? And take a long position from here. Or if price isn't going to hold or continue higher here, and then we make new lows, then you can say, okay, maybe we're heading to the downside. But on the 15-minute here, we're still holding this volume high. We're still holding. So to use this as a short, no good, right? And then to use this to continue long, well, that doesn't really make sense yet either. Because you are getting rejected here. Now that could change, but so far, oh, there you go. Okay, so still making progress to the upside. So this is where learning price action, which is the first video that I'm going to make because that's the most important. If you can't understand what's happening in a candle here, it just isn't going to work for you. But you have to understand, your buyers and your sellers and how these candles are formed and what it means. So here you had buyers step in initially. They quickly got pushed back down. Buyers stepped in again. And the fact that we closed up on the high end of this candle means the buyers stepped in stronger than the sellers, right? The next candle, sellers step in immediately, push price down. We did not break yet the previous wick. Buyers are stepping back in. Oh, and there you go. So now this is telling that the sellers may still have some strength. And now it's telling you that they have even more strength, right? Each candle or wick previously that you break kind of tells a story on which direction that the next candle may go. So we know we have some liquidity down here as well, based on these wicks, and then this move up by the buyers here. I would really like to see price come back and retest our volume high here. So now we're in the same range here, doing what we did when the market opened. So again, now we have to wait and see who wins this battle here. So far, the sellers are holding here, right? Even though these two candles closed relatively strong, this candle came in, sellers came in here and pushed price right back underneath our control. This following candle pushed up, and we pushed up above, but we closed below the control, right? Who's in charge here? Very next candle, sellers are pushing down again. Buyers are trying. Okay, so buyers, even though this candle closed red, look at this wick here. Is longer than the other side and bigger than the body of this candle here, right? So the buyers were able to push this price back with more strength than the sellers, right? That's why it doesn't matter what color these candles are. It's the story of how they are created and where they end. Okay, so we have right now liquidity here. We have buyers down here. We have sellers right here, right? Because each time we reach one of these points, the other one comes in a little bit stronger. So now we have to wait to see whose orders run out before the other ones do, or who decides to allow price to, continue in which direction, right? So in order for buyers to continue here, these sellers have to be willing to sell their positions up here in this price point. If they're not, then price will continue to get pushed down, and vice versa. Same thing, right? So now we just have to wait to see, who's going to give in. That's all it is. You can look at some other clues. The last time we were here, buyers took over. We are still creating lower highs, right? We did push up a little bit further back here, the buyers. But the thing is like, you have no idea until something is broken, one end or the other. And to get into a position here saying, oh, I think the buyers are definitely going to take it, you're gambling because you have no idea. We are creating a very, very good shelf here. Do you see how price is not closing above this control here? And when it did, the sellers came in really strong to push price back down. So you're creating a shelf here, which means there's enough sellers here that continue to push the price back. It doesn't mean it's going to last forever. It doesn't, right? So we still have to wait. But you can see the story that's being created here. Now, buyers can decide that, they're just going to keep pushing into this price point, and at some point, you might get some sellers to start um, closing out their positions up here. Then price will start to move up. But until we see that, we don't know if that's going to be the case or not. That was a nice strong push. If we break here, that gives us a better indication. Music ran out. The sellers are coming in. They're stepping up to the plate here. The buyers are peeking past each time, so they may, eventually overtake this area here. But again, there's no confirmation of that, right? Nice little trend line here. Definitely have a top here. So for me, what I would like to see here is a break above this high here, right? And hopefully, we get a little move up, but then we come back and retest this area of liquidity. If that holds, yeah, we get in long, right? But we got to see all that. The sellers are still coming in strong here and will not let the price close above this price point right here. 19.5. Look at that. So let's see. Oh, now we're starting to break the lows here. See how this is changing? Oops. Very, very strong positions the sellers have here. And this again, so now, like we were talking about here, the buyers were setting up a position here. This looks like the sellers might be setting up a position to continue down. I might be more inclined actually to take a short here. We didn't break with that. The next time the buyers couldn't push up there, yeah, maybe we could be setting up for a short. Again, the problem is you don't have that far to go. But might be able to take a little scalpy scalp. Well, we closed above here, so let's see what happens in the next couple of candles. Let's wait a little bit longer. Yeah, I think hmm. So what I'm pondering right now, we created this position back here, buyers pushed. Sellers came right back in with a rejection. We moved down, hit our volume high, quickly came back up. Liquidity grab. Now we're building another position here. So is this whole piece here a liquidity grab off of our volume high? Now we're building position again for the buyers to step in and continue long? Or was this the liquidity grab? Sellers came down, bounced off of our support, volume high, pull back, and now we're building a position again. But the question is which way? And it's difficult to tell because of this structure here, this movement. No, maybe we'll get an answer here shortly. Because the sellers are definitely in here. Okay. This might have answered my question here. Maybe the market heard me. Ask and you shall receive. Let's see. I think the safest play here, because we don't know what direction this is going to go, because you have basically liquidity grabs on either end here, is to wait for one of these ends to be retested. Right? I know. That means we have to wait. I know. If we come back down to our volume high, we don't break these lows and we hold, go long. If we come back here and we push through again and we break, we're probably moving to the downside. Oh, there you go. Look at that. If we break these highs here, we still have room to maybe try to grab a long somewhere in here. There we go. There's your liquidity. Come on. So as long as this doesn't just run now, and if we can get a little move to the upside here to show some continuation, and then pull back, grab some more of the liquidity that is 100% sitting here, hold again, then we have enough room here to look for longs with confirmation. This is confirmation. And then we can target previous highs, right? As long as this doesn't turn into, a match again. Very nice strong push here, plenty of volume. All right. Let's see what we get here. Games. This is why I don't breakout trade. Try that too. Nope. Okay, that's nice. Let's see if we can close here. Mm. I feel like this music is adding a level of anxiety that we don't need. What do you guys think? Still reaching for liquidity. Oh, that was a nice little bounce there. Yeah, we broke that wick, so nope. I was gonna say you could look for a position if we keep holding here, but the minute that we break the lowest wick, for me, that's a nope. Because as long as we continue to break lows, right, the wicks here, then I think we're coming back. But this, you can almost see the structure turning here, right? You can see the curve that we're building here. Yeah. Well, we're either coming to retest or we're coming to push back right through. So pay attention very, very closely here, right? See how price reacts, because it could just be a retest. Volume building here as we're turning and coming down. I think we might be falling. Oh, that was a nice bounce there. If this candle holds above, I might take a long here. Yeah. Hesitated. I wanted it to come down a little further. I wanted a better entry. That's okay. This is confirmation here. Still working on being a little more aggressive. When this candle closed here, that was an immediate sign for me like, oh, this is a long. Because we held, right? Again and again and again, we're holding this volume high here. And we came in with a decent amount of volume here. Should have got in on the next candle. Mm. Nice. Yeah, nice strong push up off of our volume high here again. Really, really nice. It's all right. We still got a little time here. As long as this doesn't just run. We'll look for another opportunity here now that we know we have very, very high probability that we are most likely heading up to highs of the day and maybe even higher. So let's see if we can just look for another opportunity. I think for me is I've never been somebody who got into positions on the extreme ends to go the opposite direction. And so that part for me is seems to be very, very difficult. Even though, you know, I've been talking about it, we retested here. This is a very clear hold, right? Even on the next candle. That's all you need. So I don't want to buy at the top, right? We never want to do that. So I'm looking for at least another retest, maybe. It's not necessarily going to happen. I missed my opportunity down here. But we are still in a position to look for an opportunity in this area here so long as it gives it to us. That still gives us a lot of room. But I want to make sure that my entry is good. I don't want to just buy up here and then we end up consolidating again in this area. So I'd like to get another little retest here. Interesting. Oh, we're tapping in. Okay. That's a big candle there. Oh, we pushed past. Crazy. Nice. Some big volume on that. Okay. We're going here, I think. Whoa. Not yet. Okay. Nice small position. We can add as we go if we want to. But I think we might be moving here now. Didn't want to miss it. I know I said I don't like to get in on the tops or whatever, but this was pretty convincing here at the close of this candle. Hopefully this was enough liquidity here to continue moving higher. What I'm going to be looking for is obviously breaks of these highs. So we're gonna move tightly here. Once we break these highs, I'm gonna move my stop loss up, just because we got a lot of volatility in this area here. It's very clear sellers up here, right? So I want to see them. I want to see the buyers break here. Oh, let me add a marker. Did that work? Yes. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Let me add this here so we can all see what we're doing. Stop is here on this candle. All right. And obviously we'll be targeting previous highs. We'll go a little lower. But we got a break. No looky good. There's a lot of sellers here. We know that, right? So hopefully the buyers have enough liquidity now that we've come down into this area multiple times. Let's go, let's go, let's move. Appropriate drum speed. The price action doesn't look the greatest, to tell you that much. I want to see a break out of here. Even the platform, we're like 50-50, right? We got 51% in a long position, 49% in shorts. So we'll see. I mean, I'd be looking for longs here just based off of, you know, tapping into our volume high there multiple times. Bye, Bubbas. Have fun. Yeah, well, you know, love you. Oh, come on. All right. Oh, we broke the highs there and closed. Okay. Okay. Maybe we'll hold off on the stop loss a little bit longer just because we do have some sellers sitting here still. If we break here, we'll move the stop loss to break even. Went in with a small position here just because junk, right? I don't want to risk too much. But we got plenty of upside here, so that's good. Let's see what this gives us anyway. Oh, that's not even, that's too much. I can only go to there. So that's good. I got room. Come on. Break here and run. That's what I want to see. Let's go, buyers. Step it up. All right, so the tape just started moving on this candle. So far, it's a lot of red. I don't like it. Let's see if we can get some flow of green in here. It is what it is, you know. It's not a bad trade. Position could be much better. Honestly, I should have just got in at the close here, but I have a problem with buying on big red candles. Apparently, it is a problem for me. That's something I gotta get over. But we're working on it. We're working on it. All right, we're starting to get some greens in here. Still a lot of red, so we still got lots of sellers here. I feel like if we do break this high here, it's going to go. And if we do that, then I'll move to stop loss. Otherwise, I'm going to accept the small loss here. In the past, I've moved my stop loss much too early. That one I've really tried to work on recently, and I think I've done pretty good. So we have a little bit of liquidity here, right where we bought in, honestly. So let's see if we can hold here. Let's see if the buyers can hold there. The intensity that the music adds, is it just me, or is that a thing for you guys too? It's like we're watching a movie. That's the last thing we need right now. Some news to come in and just tank the market. Ugh. Well, if that's what's going to happen, then that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Well, we gave it a shot, right? I just got a notification, and I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but was it on Truth? Yeah, it was. I mean, this is a Portuguese thing. I don't know if it has anything to do with us, but it might. Portugal has some um, countrywide power outages that could last for weeks due to some rare atmospheric phenomenon. All right, a little red today. So, the story that's being told here is that the buyers are trying to push price up, but they are struggling, right? We reach, sellers come in. We reach, sellers come in. We reach, didn't break these highs, sellers came in. So I don't know. I don't know where we're going today. Yeah, we have not been able to break here. I still won't go short up here just because we've also not been able to push past our volume high. Now, if that changes, then we can change too, right? I downloaded Truth Social just so that I can get notifications for when Trump posts, because that seems to have some type of effect on the market depending on what he says, right? I just wanted to be on the up and up. Yes, sellers are still stepping up to the plate here. Rare atmospheric phenomenon behind outage and disruption could last a week. Widespread power outages. Just there, huh? Nowhere else. Jeez, we're still holding here too. Another report said fire in France took out a grid. Oh, please. All right, I'm over it. Okay. What a very tight range here we're creating. Hmm? Well, we tried. We tried, it didn't work, and we'll try again. We need more music. Hmm. We didn't break that low yet. Oh, yeah, we did. Hmm. Looks like we're moving right back down to our volume high here. Is it another retest? Big bounce there. Nice bounce again. Kind of respecting this little trend line I have here. Is it convincing? I don't know. Majority of the platform is short. Sellers coming in here. Crazy. I very much dislike sideways trading. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. Dislike. Okay. Let's put some more music on. Yeah, da, da. Uh, do this one. We'll do this one maybe. To buy or to sell? That is the question. Let's try it to the downside here. Seeing how we broke. Nice. Very nice. We're going to keep a real tight stop loss here on this. And we're going to let her run. Add marker here. Let's see what we got in here. Tight, tight. Let it go. Hopefully we don't get taken out here, but I'd rather keep the stop loss very tight because, again, you know, we could reverse directions here very quickly, right? So I'm not risking very, very, very little on this trade. If we continue to run, sweet. If we get taken out, you know, it is what it is. But we got lots of volume on this candle here. Nice push. Let's see if we can keep pushing here. See what we can get. I'm going to be targeting probably the control level of yesterday. So we're looking at like 19,354 is my target here. But we're at lows of the day, so might want to watch our position here because we could. I'm just going to break even right now, honestly. Because if we break that wick of the previous candle anyway, then trade is invalid at that point. So risk-free trade right now, and that's okay because we basically hit lows of the day. That might be the liquidity needed to move in the other direction. There we go. So we got out break even. And we might actually be switching directions here. Let's move that to there so we know we got out of break even. This was going to be somewhere way down there. We'll see. See what happens here. Again, because of the type of movements we're getting, I'd rather break even than lose any more today, because, direction is unsure. So we moved basically to lows of the day. I knew that was there, but if we had broken past that area, then we were moving to our control. Let me show you on the 15-minute here. So here's where we wicked right down to lows of the day, basically, which held pretty well. But if we had enough to blow through that, then we were looking for the control here. That was my target. All right. But we may, who knows what's going to happen here. Honestly, if we come back up and retest the volume high and that doesn't, that rejects, I'll get in again. Maybe. It depends on what happens here, right? Because this candle is very, very bullish. Took out 2 previous candles. But we'll see. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. Should have got in on that close. That was your rejection. Maybe not. Let's take this down. Hopefully we don't enter a consolidation here, down here. But let's see if we can't take this down past lows of the day. Got some volume build on these 2 candles here with the rejection. Stop loss at break even now, just to be safe. Because this still could be a reversal, but we're taking We're taking opportunities here. It's okay. Break even is break even. I don't care. If we break above this candle here, then again, it makes this trade invalid, but nice strong push through all of our liquidity that we had before. We came back up, retested, got rejected with volume. So I'm okay with taking the position where I took it and stop loss at break even. There we go. We just broke lows, previous lows. Let's see if we get some momentum now to the downside. We're going to be looking for, again, if we can break lows of the day. So we need to close. We need to push past here and close down here. So strong push is what we need to the downside right now. Come on. Then I'm going to start trailing because we are in a very, very decent support area. That's why I want to see a strong push here to the downside, not the upside, the other way. All right, just in case we're locking in some profits because we might be pivoting here. You can see some liquidity building up. I'd like to see a good, strong push out, down. So again, we're retesting lows of the day. Let's see if the sellers have enough to push past. If we do, we're probably heading to at least the control of yesterday. That's a key level that I have placed. Let's go. There it is. Moving stop loss to above structure here. Locking in profits. That's what I want to see. There we go. We're moving now. We've pushed past the last wick of today. So we should be moving now. I need to set... Oh, maybe not. That's the stop loss. I need to set a take profit here. Yeah, we'll go right to the control. That's exactly what I'm aiming for. And so long as we continue to push, this will be the next. That'll be the target. Beautiful. I'm going to continue trailing stop loss pretty tight here just in case we get a quick reversal. Because we're kind of in no man's land right now, so anything could happen. Locking in profits for today. Let's go. Oh, let me put this trade here. What did I get right there? Yeah, okay. Good. We're targeting right there. We might actually push past that. I'm going to give it a little bit more room. Just a little bit. If we look like we're going to get held up here, then I'll close the position. But I'll give a little room to peek past. Let's go, TP. Nice volume building, large candle. Let's push. Move this over here so I don't lose the spot. Okay. I'm going to put stop loss right here above the current candle. So we're locking in a little over $1,100 no matter what. All right, we reached our control, which was my target. I'm giving it a little bit of room, unless we look like we're about to reverse here, and then I'll close the position anyway, or I'll just I'll tighten up the stop loss, which is what I'm gonna do. Oh, let's go hit that take profit, baby. Let's get it. Oh my goodness, come on. Stop gonna get it. We're good. Hey, we got out at 1,000. Beautiful. Well, that's okay. What was it, like 1,200 or something like that? That's okay. Beautiful. We're up $1,000 today, people. Beautiful, beautiful. We kept our loss small. We took 2 more trades after that. Break even, which was fine. You know, I'd rather be break even than completely wrong. We got into our final trade here, and we trailed stop loss really, really tight on the way down. We might actually end up moving to hit our TP. That's fine. Like, I don't even care. Target was the control, okay? And that's exactly where we went. I pushed it a little bit more because I was being greedy. Let's be real. I'm be honest with you guys. I was being greedy. I wanted to hit that $1,500 mark so that we can be halfway done with the with this account. So I was being greedy. That's why I pushed past. The target was the control, and we hit that. Beautiful. And I trailed the stop loss. Nice, nice. We're locking in profits. That was a beautiful trade. Awesome, man. I'm glad you got to see it. Thank you. You know, we might continue pushing past here. But I'm going to be, that's going to be it for me today, folks. We'll hang out a little bit longer so you guys, we'll keep talking through some stuff here. But as far as trading, I think I'm going to be done for today. That puts us a third of the way through this account, which is the second 50K account that I'm going to pass. And then once we get this account done, then we'll have 2 funded accounts. That way we have a backup account, and then we'll start start trading in the funded accounts. This is beautiful, beautiful move here. We took some opportunities. I'm not mad at the opportunities that I took today. We missed some opportunities, a little bit more upset with those. But they didn't end up actually working out the way that I thought they would. So I'm almost at the same time glad that I didn't take them. Some messy structure here. But ultimately, we finally got a direction here. And now that we've pushed past our control here, it looks like we're going to be moving down to the next structure, which was volume low of Friday. So we may be pushing a little bit more. We're at 19,330 right now. Volume low is at 19,245. Let me zoom out for you guys to see that. Okay, here's the next target. If this holds, we got 3 minutes left in this 15-minute. If we hold, we could most certainly be pushing to volume low here. Okay, absolutely. You can see the volume actually building again on the 15-minute here. Long candle body, right? Off of the rejection that we had on the volume high. Push past lows of the day. Very nice picture to continue to our volume low here. So if this candle holds, like I said, if the strength continues and we close strong with this, I would say we are more than likely heading to volume low here. Not financial advice. Beautiful trade. We'll just move this up to where we actually got out, which was, I think, somewhere around here, right? That this candle took us out. Nice move. Nice move. So this is a perfect example of you try, and just because it didn't work out doesn't mean that your theory was wrong. Okay? It just means that it wasn't the right time. So we waited. We didn't get mad and get all flustered and whatever here, right? You took a loss, no big deal. This was actually break even, but whatever. Break evens for me are losses. But continue to watch. The theory was correct. We just didn't wait long enough. We got the retest. I thought I missed the entry again because honestly, the entry should have been on the close of this candle here. All right. The next candle started to move pretty quickly. It retraced a little bit more than halfway, and I grabbed that opportunity. So the entry here should have been better. This was not a great entry. But the opportunity was there. We grabbed it. Again, tight stop loss. Really, really, really nice move after that. Beautiful move. Definitely could have been a better entry. The exit should have been right at the control where I had it initially. I got greedy. Is what it is. But yeah, good trade here. Good trade here. If at first you don't succeed, you try again. That's trading. That's trading. Being a great loser is what makes you successful in this game. Keep your head clear. Take your losses. Forget about them immediately. And just focus on what price is telling you, right? We tried for a short here, didn't work, but price was still telling us that it was going. So we tried again, and that time it worked. Moral of the story there. Beautiful, beautiful, strong 15-minute candle here with a close underneath the control. Even if you get a little pullback here, I would imagine that at some point today we're headed for volume low here. This is a nice example of how these key levels work. They don't always participate in the day. Some days you are just way outside of the range, like this day here, right? We had a really nice gap to open up, so we weren't anywhere near the key levels that I had placed here. Some days are like that, but most days, right, the key levels play a huge role in each trading day. I mean, today you can see how strong this volume high was. I mean, price continued to come to this location. We just didn't know which way it was going to go. But once we got that confirmation, boom, your key levels, entries, and exits. It's beautiful. Yeah. And this is the stuff I'll be talking about in the new series that I'm going to be releasing. We'll say in a couple weeks. I'm going to give myself a little time to make the videos. But we're going to have a series. It's going to be called The Strategy. Simple. And we're going to talk about all this stuff. But the first video is going to be about price action because you got to have that. You got to read the candles. You can have all of the key levels you want plotted out on your chart, but if you don't know how to read what price is telling you around those key levels, it's still going to be difficult for you. So the very, very first thing you have to learn, in my opinion, is price action. That's everything. And that just takes time in the charts, unfortunately. It's just time in the charts. You just watch it and really focus on what each candle is doing and then what the following one does. But we'll be coming out with those videos in a couple weeks. There we go. Cool. Third of the way done with our second 50K account. We're doing good. We're doing good here. The next large goal for me, or what I'm working on currently, is consistency now. We passed a challenge. We have a funded account. It means nothing unless we can make sure that I have consistency, right? So that's why I decided to do another account, because that gives me more practice, lets me continue to fine tune the strategy, and it'll give me more confidence going into trading a funded account. So that's where we're at. Now we're working on consistency. If we can get that consistency, we have 2 funded accounts. We're on our way. We're on our way. Retesting control here, right? Key level. And in a lot of cases, the control is an even stronger key level, because that was fair value for Friday, right? Your control line is fair value. That's where the majority of the trades, that's where the majority of the volume, majority of your liquidity, that's where that sat. So your control is a very, very strong key level. So we're retesting control, and look at the rejection there, right? I'm pointing in the air like you guys can see what I'm pointing at. So here's your control from Friday, fair value from the previous trading session, and you're getting a nice rejection right off of that level. I mean, these things sometimes are like on point. So you wait for the candle to close. Okay. Yeah. Tape is starting to move a little quicker. You just got to make sure you confirm in what direction. So the volume is coming in now, right? The tape is moving quicker. The orders are coming in. Which way is it going? There you go. You broke that wick. You got strong movement to the downside. Don't like that. Sellers coming in. Or buyers, sorry. Buyers coming in here, pushing price back up. Yeah, this might be a key level here, and it might be a turning point, right? These levels here are I would say more pivot points than they are, through points, especially the control. And you can see that, right? You use these as pivot points. So this may be, we push through, we get some liquidity here. We might be popping back up. If we take a look at the 15-minute chart here, look at where price is, right? You're matching structure, basically, right? Here's structure from Friday. That was a key point, a pivot point, right? So here we are again. So what I would do, look at that, strong. On volume building again for the buyers here. This, I would just, if you wanted to be risky, boop, right there. Or in most cases, what I do, because I'm not that risky, is I'll wait for a continuation and then wait for a retest. If your retest holds the control, boom, right? Take a long position. Not financial advice. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Can I just say it once? Does that cover the whole thing or what? I don't want to get sued. I don't have any money to get sued. But you can see here, you made a nice turn, right? Buyers came in right here. Volume, push past above control here. Okay. This is a nice little pivot here. Now you're making higher highs. Let's see if you make a higher low. And that would hopefully be on the control here. So if I was going to continue trading today, which I'm not, I would wait for a retest of the control. And I don't think that I would use this as a retest, to be honest with you. This is a little too close here. I would wait for a little bit of a move up, you know, and then come back down, retest. You know, you could. I wouldn't. But I'm very much more what's the word I'm looking for? A wussy. When it comes to, you know, listen, I've lost a lot. And so I'm a little bit more risk oriented, I guess. And that's not necessarily, you know, a good thing. At some point, I'm going to have to get over that and take these opportunities one step at a time. One step at a time. I know that it's a thing. It's there. It's in the back of my head often. But it's okay. I'd rather miss an opportunity than be blowing accounts, you know. For the first time in 3 years, I'm heading in the right direction. So let's keep going that way, and then I'll work on these little nuances as we gain some consistency. I'm glad I'm catching these trades on the lives too now. It seemed for a while there, it seemed as though I was only getting trades either before or after I went live. But we're doing good. Nice day. Not a bad day of trading. Sometimes it takes a little while. So 15-minute chart looking like a really nice possible reversal. We're at about the 50% mark of the previous candle. So that's why I like to wait for a little bit. I like to see continuation, because otherwise you can get stuck in consolidation here now, right? You had a nice strong move to the downside. You might get consolidation. But if you can get continuation here and it looks strong, and then you get a nice pullback and a retest, I would feel more comfortable getting in there, because the chances of a, you know, continuation in the direction are a little bit higher versus you get this little tick up, you get a retest by the following candle, and then you're like, well, you know, is it just going to dance around here for a while? And it could. So that's my perspective. I like to see a continuation and something with some volume, you know, like we're getting a continuation here, but the volume isn't great. We'll see how the next candle closes. And we're at the 50% retracement, right, of the previous candle. So this could still just be a normal retracement here, and then we continue down, right? So gotta see where we're at. Yeah, see volume coming down here. So you just keep watching. Don't get in too early. But also don't miss the opportunity. That's the battle. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm not going to trade anymore today. We made a couple of trades. We made, what did we do? Like 4 trades today. 1 loss. 2 break evens. Did I not? I didn't mark out the other one. Well, let me just, for full disclosure, let's bring it up. You guys can see all that? Oh, it's kind of hidden. Let me bring it there. There we go. These are the trades for this account. So we had 4 trades today. No, 3 trades today. Those are on the 23rd. 28. Yeah. Today's the 28th. Yep. Okay. 3 trades today. Not bad. We lost 250 on the first one. Break even. It says a loss of $5 here. Break even, right? But we made $1,340. So $1,340 on our winning trade. That's how you do it. Small losses. Even though we took 2 losses and made 1 good trade, we profited $1,000 on the day. Full disclosure, there you guys go. It's there. Beautiful. Go back to our main layout. Here we are. Let's just see what this does real quick, and then I'm going to go. If this candle ends up retracing and turns red, that may be a good place to head in the downward direction. So as soon as that turned yellow or red, whatever you want, you could have taken a chance there. I like to wait for candle closes personally. So if this closes somewhere in this area, it's a possibility, although we are kind of holding above this structure here. Yeah, just based off of the way price is reacting here, we're kind of holding this general area. I would definitely wait for a stronger signal as to which direction we're going to go in. And like I said, totally possible that we could just consolidate here now. So, okay. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm glad that we got all of those trades in on the live so you can see the losses and the wins, because it's not just about the wins. And I would argue that it's more about the losses than it is the wins. So thank you guys. I'm glad you got to see that. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for your support. The channel still continues to grow. Let's try to push this out and grow even further. We're at 286 subscribers, I think, now. So if I could ask a favor, maybe we can share and post some of these videos and try to hit that 300 mark by the end of the week. I would really, really appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. And don't forget to join the free Discord. Link is in the description for that. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. I did. I learn every day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Stay green.